Hey everyone, this is Alice Bull from scrapbookwonderland.com and the Scrap Happy membership group. We are here for Scrap Smarter, which is a newish session that we are doing with the Scrap Happy membership group, and we're inviting friends along for the ride. I think that one of the most inspiring things for me that's kept me scrapbooking for nearly 20 years is learning new stuff. And that always is so much fun. So we are doing these new sessions. Now, the way it's going to work today is that our guest instructor I'll introduce her in a second. She will watch a video that she's prepared for us, showing us some really cool stuff. And then we will have a chance to talk with her afterwards. Super fun. If it's your first time here, using this platform, you can open up the chat box and you can type in the chat. When I'm sharing, I won't be able to respond in the chat. It just doesn't work. My internet can't handle me talking and sharing at the same time. It's like, no, I refuse. So I will catch up with comments afterwards. And feel free to ask questions at the end or, put in your 2 cents. If you have a great tip or trick, we want to hear it. So that's all very welcome. The whole idea of this is just to share some great ideas. So speaking of our instructor, today we have Janet with RTS Scrapbooking YouTube channel. So welcome, Janet. I'm going to put you up, and can you tell us a little bit about what you do with your amazing and very prolific YouTube channel? It is wonderful. Okay, tell us.
Okay, Alice, you're so kind. Honestly, you're so dear. Oh, I just have been scrapbooking for 23 years, if you can believe that. And then empty nest hit, and it hit hard. And so my hubby and my little one kept saying, "You just need to do something. You absolutely need to do something. And I was absolutely thinking about not scrapbooking in the future. That's where I had gotten. And my husband said, you just have to do this. And so I just started a channel, and it has just went, yeah, it's just been going, and I'm just having fun. And the thing I struggled the most with, I've been dragging my feet for 3 years to start this channel, was I didn't think I could do the techie side of things. And that absolutely, the editing and everything absolutely ends up being my favorite part of doing the videos. I can't believe that. I just can't believe that. So I'm not only am I enjoying doing the content, but then enjoying another version of something I didn't even think I would enjoy. So it's all about learning and sharing. That's what I say. Learning and sharing.
And your videos, which I'm not kidding, you're very prolific. Do you know how many videos you put out every week? Is it like
I talk a lot. So
I talk a lot.
I talk a lot. But I think it's been it's been 6 months, and I think I'm on 160 videos. There's someone.
Here,
I hear some little blessings.
I'll go through and I'll see what we got going on here. Some extra little sounds in the background. Sorry.
Oh, there's Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Oh, I'd love to hear little blessings like that. That's just, I love that. I love that.
There. Yeah. So no, 23 years, that's a long time to scrapbook. I'm so glad that you have dove into this and that you didn't let the tech scare you away, because it's manageable, right? It's manageable. It's just so much to learn in the beginning, right? Everything up front. Vicky says, "Hi, Janet. I'm so happy to be here tonight. I absolutely love RTS."
Thank you so much, Vicky. I really appreciate that. I really do. It did take me I was working 2.5 months just on learning before I absolutely started. So it did take that time. But then the whole concept of everything just came to me one day, and I just started writing everything down, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to call it. And I even said to my husband one day, we were traveling and I was down in the dumps, and I said, it's so pathetic. I have a name for my channel, everything I want to do, what I should do, this and that. And I said, it's so pathetic. He goes, what's pathetic? He said, I think that's great. Why are you not doing this? So like I said, empty nest just hit, and I didn't have a use, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I just needed a scrap buddy. So, and I've already loved the YouTube. So I just married them both together.
Natural fit. That's perfect. Well, we are going to get started. Would you like to do a little intro, or is the intro in your video good to go for this?
Yeah, the intro is there. I'm always talking there. It's there.
Well, it's so great because especially during load months when there's a lot of scrapbooking going on, it's good to have a buddy to scrapbook with. So you're always available.
I can't say enough about load. I just honestly hope that the load event just grows and grows. And I tell my subscribers, if you want to take your scrapbooking to the next level, if you are in a rut, if you want something different, load is the way to go. I mean, it really has changed, honestly. And I think that's why I started focusing more on stories, was because of load way back in the day. It just is truly a good event.
You're telling my story as well. That's exactly how it happened for me. So Load is the Layout a Day challenge, and it's hosted by the Scrap Happy group, in case anybody is unfamiliar with that term. And we do challenges a few times a year where we scrapbook every single day for a month. And as much as it didn't seem like that was even a possibility when I first tried it, I've done it more often than I would ever have expected. I've had my times where I don't do every single day as well. And I think that for me, it's just, that's real life. Like sometimes you don't get it all done. Vicki says day 29 done, 2 more to go. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Brenda says, hi everyone, I'm so excited about this. Well, I think on that note, what we are going to do is we're going to start the video. I think it is about 23 minutes. So we'll watch that together. And then at the end of it, we will have a Q&A session and get to chat some more. So welcome, Les. Let's see, here we go. Let's share with the sound. Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome to a ScrapSmarter session brought to you by the Scrap Happy membership. I absolutely love that Alice has now added this additional resource to our Scrap membership, because I think as we go forth in this process, we go forth in our journey, learning and sharing and growing is a must if you want to keep things exciting. Yes, and you know how I feel about that. So what we're going to do today in this ScrapSmarter session, I'm not wasting any time. No, we are going to look into a sneak peek of the go-to designs that's coming up on the channel RTS Scrapbooking. And so I will tell you, it has taken on a life of its own. Yes, I think we're going to be working about 2 weeks onto this series, but that is fun, okay? Now, when I think about scrapping smarter, for me that means scrapping faster. And so for me that means having some go-to designs in my memory bank that I go to in a hurry or in a quick manner when I want to do a quick page. Not that everything has to be done in 20 minutes, but I don't want to spend 20 days on a page. And I know you know what I'm talking about. So what is go-to designs? They are basically what they are. You go to them just like you go to your closet and you get that favorite sweater, you get that favorite dress, you get that favorite anything. Just what you always go to because it's comfortable and it's easy to understand and you just love it. And that's what go-to designs are. They are just what you go to when you don't want to think and you don't have to want to reinvent the wheel. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, in this sneak peek, I'm simply going to just go over what the series is going to be about in a brief manner, and then we're going to talk about one of the go-to designs. And I'm just going to show a sample of it, okay? It's definitely going to be the whole part of it. Okay, so let's get cracking. So for the go-to designs, now if you are familiar with sketches, then you probably know what go-to designs are. But if you're new to sketches and you're scrapbooking in general, or you just want to scrap smarter, scrap faster, the go-to designs is something that you need to look into. And so what that is that once you start to know what go-to designs are, then you will start looking at sketches differently, because every sketch is basically built on a go-to design. It's just configurations and different variations, and that's what we're going to talk about in the entire go-to designs, because once you go through this go-to design series, you're going to look at sketches differently. You're going to spy, oh, that's a grid, oh, that's a triangle, oh, that's a block, oh, that's a banner, oh, that's a grid. Okay, so that's what go-to designs are. It is all about learning. Yes, absolutely. So what we're going to talk about in this sneak peek tonight is we are going to talk about my absolute favorite go-to design. And I'm going to be working with a couple Echo Park collections in the series. How fun is that? We all love Echo Park. Yes. So the one I'm going to talk about, because in the series, I think I'm going to be covering about 5 to 6 different go-to designs. And then what we're going to do within those, learning those designs, we're going to show different variations, different configurations. And then I'm going to layout samples, and then the day after we do the go-to designs, we're going to do a start to finish based on that previous day's go-to design. Fun, fun. Okay, so the collection I think I'm going to play with tonight is Creative Agenda. And you'll see this other collection coming up, you know, a sneak peek. Yes, for the record. Yes, that's the other collection we're going to play with in the series. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm actually sitting here giddy. That's how excited I am, because who doesn't like to learn? Okay, so my go-to design, bar none, and I absolutely call it my go-to design, but I have seen it called either railroad design, the equal design, the highway design, or what I'm going to call it for the series is I'm going to call it happy horizontal. Yes, I am, because that's exactly what we're going to talk about, is the happy horizontal. Because basically it is the most simplest go-to design, bar none, and you can do it over and over and over, and your pages will not look the same. Never. No. Okay, so what is it? Let's get cracking. And again, this is just a sneak peek. In our series, we're going to delve into each one of these designs a little bit further, a little bit longer, and you know how I like to chat. So we're going to talk, and do. Okay, so simply, for the sneak peek, I have some cardstock here, is that we are simply going to, excuse me, oh, isn't this beautiful? This was by 2014 Echo Park, you know, because we all like to know that. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to pick out a pretty piece of paper here. Of course, the pretty piece of paper I picked out, of course, is floral, because if you have watched any of my videos, you know that florals is my thing. Yes, okay. So I'm simply going to take this one piece of paper and I'm going to cut off this branding strip, because that always distracts me, and I'm easily distracted. Okay, and you have to be careful. Sometimes these branding strips are not always at the 12-inch mark. I mean, they are just, each manufacturer is different. Okay, so I have my 12-inch piece of paper. So what is the happy horizontal? In a nutshell, it is this simple. You're going to take a piece of paper that you like, the A side and the B side. Pretty pink. Yes. Okay, and I wanted to use this multicolor because it'll be easier for filming. And you're simply going to take this one 12 by 12 piece of paper with the branding strip cut off. Okay, this is how simple this go-to design is. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to cut it in half. Half, happy horizontal. That's what we're going to do. So I'm at 6 inches. I mean, how simple. Okay, and that is your go-to design. Yes. Oh, that never gets old. Never. Okay, now let me get my trimmer out of the way here. And I have some cardstock here, so let me just keep playing. Okay, so a happy horizontal, the go-to design that I love the most is simply taking a piece of paper and cutting it in half. And so you have the A side and the B side, and that is the best way to stretch a piece of paper, especially if you're paying 99 cents for it. Okay, so you get both of those patterns, both of those designs, and that is your go-to design. And then you have this seam. Okay, and we're going to show a lot in our go-to designs about this seam and different things you can do. Okay, but this is the very basic go-to design. And then what do? Well, you just take either a border sticker or border strip. It doesn't have to be a sticker, it can absolutely be a piece of paper. Okay, and so you could take ribbon. Okay, let's get some pretty ribbon. Oh, let's get some orange. Okay, and then, okay, or you could also use washi for that seam. So right there, simply, is the building of a basic design, and that literally took less than 2 minutes. How simple is that? Okay, now some of you would say, now what am I putting this on? If your cardstock is heavy enough and you put together this seam, you may not need it on anything. I personally like to have it on something, so what I'll do is I'll just get this back here. What I would do is I have a category in my space that is just for basically leftover papers I don't care for, but yet they're a nice weight, and so then I would use that. Let's just say it's this orange here. Okay, which that looks pretty with that. Okay, say I didn't like this orange paper. It's just a piece of paper I don't like. It doesn't have to be cardstock. It can just be of anything of good weight. And then since these are 6 by 12 pieces of paper, you are absolutely going to just wallpaper that cardstock. That's all you're going to do. And then of course you have that seam, and then you would use something. Okay, so you're using something as a foundation page, a base page, but you're not seeing it. Okay, you simply do that. That is your go-to design. Okay, like I said, that never gets old. It doesn't get any easier than that, and that is simply one piece of paper. Then again, with a base or a background if you want to. And it can be those papers that you get from a paper pad, or maybe you've been gifted some and you don't really like. Keep them in a separate category. This is what you use them for. Yes, yes. Okay, now what would be another variation? Okay, I just love those together. That never gets old. Okay, so I have a piece of basil cardstock here. And I'm looking at my notes because you know how I get sidetracked. Okay, so then another simple way to do this is without anything, you can simply take your 6 by 12s and you can overlap them as little or as big as you want. Okay, and you could also cut that down if you wanted to, and then you could, you know, save some more of that paper. Okay, but if you're wanting a go-to design and you want it quick, you're not pulling out your trimmer, so you just overlap them. And then again, what you're doing is you're taking either a border sticker, or you're taking some washi, or you're taking some ribbon, or a combination of all three. Okay, so right there is 2 go-to designs from our Happy Horizontal, because then you're having a header up here and you're having a header down here. Now if you have taken any of my 4x4 series, look how pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. What did we do? We did one cut on our trimmer with a 6 by 12 piece of paper. This is why it's the Happy Horizontal. Yes, okay. And don't be afraid when you're using this seam. It doesn't have to be just one border sticker or one piece of ribbon. It could be a combination of all 3 of these. Look, I'm using washi, ribbon, and a border sticker. It can be all of those. And if you've taken my 4x4 series, you'll know that we used these type of supplies to cover up that seam. Okay. Now with 6 by 12, you can absolutely make this header as big or as small as you want. Okay. So again, you're just taking this 6 by 12 and you're doing it in different configurations. Okay, now here's the best part of this. Okay, so now there's my header bigger, header even bigger. That would be really great for a big title and journaling up here, and then I have a small little title down here. Now here's what's good about this. So of course I could cover up the seam, not cover up the seam, but what I also could do, oh yes, let's get crazy. I could absolutely put another one down here. Now tell me that that isn't a pretty page. And what we took that 6 by 12, cut it in half. Now if you wanted to conserve some of your paper, certainly the ones that you're going to cover, you could cut that down, but you wouldn't have to. I mean, it just gives your page more stability. Okay, that's pretty pretty. And then what are you going to do? You could come up here, you could add washi. Yeah, that it's old. Look at, you are basically taking that go-to design and you're making it into a strip design. That's what you're doing. Okay, it doesn't get any easier than that. Okay, so now let's talk about something else with this 6 by 12. We'll bring it out, but I wanted to show this. Oh, I have one more thing to show. Okay, and believe me, this is just a sampling of what we're going to delve into in this go-to designs. And this is just one go-to design, the Happy Horizontal. We have grid, we have banner, we have strip, we have block. What else do we have? I'm looking at my notes here. Oh, and the L design, the band design. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to stop, but we're going to talk about those. So with those, you could simply just wallpaper it, okay? Then you could overlap it, okay? And then you could bring this header down as much as you want or as little as you want. You could bring this down, okay? But then here's the thing. What we're going to do, you ready? We're going to go in the vertical sense of things. Oh yes, now the possibilities are just as swimming. Yes, because you can do the same thing. You could simply wallpaper that last piece and then come in here and do a seam with ribbon, washi, border sticker, border strips, scraps even. You could absolutely take scraps that are 12 inches and you could use that as this, okay? If you don't have washi or if you don't have ribbon or border stickers, okay? So then now we're doing everything in the vertical sense. And then what you can do is then you can overlap these again, okay? So there we have more vertical. Again, we can strips, our washi, and just keep on building, okay? Somebody stop me. Okay, and then we had slide everything to the right. Okay, overlap if you wanted to. Again, you could cut down that background if you wanted to. Doesn't matter. And then again, what are we doing? We're building another page. Yes, now this makes for a great 2-page, because if whatever I have on the left here, say this is my left, I could simply come over here and that would be my right. It was just with one piece of paper. You see, it's a go-to design. Yes, happy horizontal, come to mama. Absolutely. Again, then you just keep playing with these 2 papers however you want, okay? But you can go in the horizontal or you can do the vertical, and then you can stretch it to a 2-page. Whatever you do on the left, a symmetrical or an asymmetrical on the right, okay? It just doesn't get any better. Okay, so now let's just keep playing, because with this 6x12, this 6x12, I didn't cut anything other than cut it in half. But what you can do, I'll get my trimmer here, is that you could take this 6x12, and what we're going to do, cut papers one at a time, okay? We're going to cut off, let's cut off 3/4, okay, on both of them, okay? So then what we're going to do then is exactly what I just did. But now you're going to have a different configuration, because now you're going to have this cardstock as your base. I mean, look at that. Oh, yes, you can absolutely center that, and then you could just absolutely do what we just did. You could overlap them. You could shift them up. You could shift it down. And then, let's get crazy, and then you could do the vertical sense of things, okay? There's your right-hand page. Come over here. There's your left-hand page. Oh, yes, somebody stop me. Okay. Okay, so then what you could do is cut them down, and now you have an outside mat. So now you have another look. And that's simply, remember, we're still using that one 6x12 piece of paper. Okay, so now what else can we do? The mat. How about let's breaking out the corner rounder? Okay, and we're just going to keep on going. Okay, now all I did was pull out a corner rounder. Look at what that did for that design. Look at that. Already gave it a different, and all I did was take my photo corner, my corner rounder, not my photo corner, my corner rounder, and I just did just the top 2, but then you could come down and do the bottom 2, okay? Or I could turn it here, I put the pink on top, I could put this on the bottom, now my rounded corners are on the bottom, okay? And then what do we do? Well, we could take that 12-inch border sticker, go the whole way across, right there's another design. Or what we can do is we could add some washi on top of that. Oh, that looks pretty. Okay, or what we can do is let's even do some more. And I how many go-to designs? How many was that already? How many different page designs was that? And we're still only on go-to design happy horizontal. We have only touched the ice. We're on the top of the iceberg. Look at that. Add that ribbon. Yes. Okay. So that is just one. I got washi everywhere here. That is just one go-to design, and that's just about 3 different variations of this happy horizontal go-to design. I have a lot more up my sleeve to show you about these different horizontals, okay? Because everything I show is that you can do it in the horizontal, and then you can do it in the vertical, and then you can convert it to a 2-page if you wish to. I mean, they're just, the options are truly endless, okay? Now, things we're going to share and show in the class is that we are going to be talking about other additions that you can do for these go-to designs. Add some photo corners, add some different cuts, bring out the tools, the punches. We're going to talk about all of that in the go-to designs. And then also too, we're going to talk about sneak peeks right now about layouts that I'm going to be showing. So let me just pause for a minute, and I will bring out some layouts and we'll do some sneak peeks. How's that? Hang on. So let's keep talking about the happy horizontal go-to design that we're going to dig into more deeper in our go-to designs series. And then I'm going to show a few little samples, because simply what I showed previously is just a very small sampling of what we're going to talk about, okay? And because I didn't want to make this video too long. So in this page here, and I actually had done that for the load event, which you know how I feel about load. You don't get any better than the load event here at the Scrap Happy membership. No, this is a happy horizontal or an equator design, railroad design, highway design, whatever you want to call it. I simply call it my too. This is simply red cardstock in this black and white paper, and look what I did. It's not a 6x12. This is more like an 8 and a 4, okay, because we'll be showing that in the class. And then I used 3 border stickers to cover up that seam and to build my page. But look at, take away the photos and the embellishments, and if you look at the bare bones, my go-to design is right there. That's a happy horizontal, okay? Now let's talk about another one. Now this is part of a 2-page layout, and you'll see that. And so basically, what do I have? I have a header up at the bottom down here, but I have a happy horizontal in the middle. Yes, I have 2 pieces of paper, and then what is in the seam? Piece of washi tape, and again down here some more washi. Again, that's a happy horizontal. Yes, okay. Another one we're going to talk about in the class is another happy horizontal, but it's in the vertical sense. So I have basically a 6x12 here, a 6x12 here, and I have 2 paper strips right here covering up the seam. And this again is in the vertical sense, okay? Because we're going to talk about all of that. And then another one, this was for load as well. And this is again a happy horizontal. I have about a 3-inch here and about a 9-inch here, and then the seam is covered up with some washi tape. I mean, that, if you take away the embellishments and the title and the photos, look at the bare bones. That is the happy horizontal. Yes, you see why it's my go-to design? I love it, love it. Okay, now speaking of Echo Park, some of you may know this little fella here in the middle. That's Madison from Echo Park and 2 online friends. And so this is again happy horizontal, where this is basically a 4x12 and maybe an 8x12, and again in the middle is a paper strip and a paper or a border sticker. Again, happy horizontal, and I even cut down where you see that outside mat. Okay, now this one is something else we're going to talk about more in depth in the go-to designs, and this is a happy horizontal. But look at my horizontal. Okay, now don't look at my photos and my embellishments. I have my background mat. Okay, and then I happy horizontal of my polka dot and then my turquoise. And what do I have in the seam? I have a border, paper scrap, and then I have ribbon, and then I have a little bit of down here, and then I have a cut down on a mat, and then I have a corner rounded at the top put on another mat. And so that you take the happy horizontal and you take it to the next level, and we'll be talking about that in our go-to designs. This never gets old. This is why it's my go-to design, because it is the most simplest of simple. You simply are taking 2 pieces of paper from 2 6x12 pieces of paper, and then you start out cutting it in half. And then after you're playing with that for a while, then you start cutting it down, and then you start making this 6 inches or 8 inches, and you start making this 4 inches and 9 and 3. So you're taking that 12 inches, and then you're doing the variation of the happy horizontal. It just never, ever gets old. And then when you can take it and you do it in a vertical sense, then you just doubled your options. And then when you make it into a 2-page, well, there, we're really cracking there. Yes, absolutely. Okay, and there again, now we're giving ourselves a bigger mat and corner round and border stickers and ribbon and washi. Oh yes. Okay, so I better stop there. I get too excited. So this is just a little sneak peek, a little tip of the iceberg as to what's to come in our go-to designs, and then to show that to scrap smarter would be scrapping faster, and that is having those go-to designs in your memory bank. So we have a lot coming up at RTS. This series is going to be a long series, but it's going to be a fun series. So I want to thank Alice for asking me to come over and to do a little bit of this tonight. A little bit of chit chat, have a little bit of fun. Yes, if you have any questions, just ask, about the go-to designs, just ask. And like I said, we'll be talking about 5 or 6 different designs, but the happy horizontal will be the first one because it's my favorite one. Okay, so that's all I have for this Scrap Smarter session, and I want to thank Alice and the Scrap Happy membership. Absolutely, one of the best things I do for my journey and my process is my Scrap Happy membership and my access to Load. I love the Load event. I actually need a t-shirt that says I love Load. Okay, so that is all I have for today, all I have for tonight for the Scrap Smarter series. And come back to yes, because you never know what we're going to learn. Bye.
Okay. Okay, I think you can hear me. Yes. Okay, that's good. And I think I gotta take here. I'll put myself up here for a second because I can see the buttons differently. Um, okay, there we go. I think I've got. Okay, so here we go. We've got a bunch of messages. We've got some chat going on during the event, which is awesome. Vicky says, just clapping for Janet. Thank you. And Les says, I'm sure my next layout is going to be a happy horizontal. Yay! That's the kind of stuff we want to hear. I love it. So I think that as I went along, I'm going to put your video up here so that we can see you as you're responding. If anybody has any questions or if there was any questions that came up, then just you can go ahead and ask those right now. I just wanted to say, like, one of the things I really noticed was that the pages that you showed as the examples, like when you think, okay, I'm going to do a 6x12 and a 6x12, put those together to make that happy horizontal, you think, geez, that's going to look repetitive. But the pages you showed us at the end proved that that's not repetitive at all. So what is your takeaway with that, Janet? Can you talk to us about how different the same thing can look?
I think a lot of it, actually, I think truly all of it is because if you're using pattern paper, which we all love and we all buy, is that pattern paper becomes your main embellishment. And so that's why it doesn't look the same, because not only do you do variations and configurations, it's that pattern paper, it's that different look, it's that different mood and feel every time when you're doing a layout. And that's why it looks different, even if it's side by side, because I know in our 4 for 4 series where we took 4 pieces of paper and we created 4 layouts and 4 cards, and it's just pieces of paper cut in different configurations and they don't look the same. It's amazing. Of course, that's why we love pattern paper, because it's just amazing. And so it truly is, I think for a lot of us, pattern paper is our main embellishment. We think it's just paper, but it's our main embellishment. It is the indicator and the mood and feel of our story.
It is
Truly.
literally after photos, it's the first thing I choose for my layout is what paper. Everything else is like the little icing bits that you add, but like the pattern paper gives you the tone and the feeling that you're going for on the page. Terry says, I need to make a file on my phone of layout inspiration by Janet. Do you have a Pinterest board that people can follow, Janet, where you share your
I don't
layouts on
do
Pinterest?
I don't do anything other than YouTube, because for so long I was very private about things because of different things in our life and my husband's career, and I just never shared anything privately. And now that he's getting on to the other side of things, that I can share some things that I tell people all the time, and I know when I taught classes for a long time, other than journaling and photos, the next question was finding time to scrapbook. And I had to say, you have to say no to something else. That's just the only way you can say. And for me, social media just won't happen, because if I want time to scrapbook, I have to pick and choose. And so I will always choose scrapbooking over social media, because it's just, yeah, I just will always. Now YouTube is one thing, but social media, I just don't partake in that, because that is, I think, how I get so much done. I just don't do some things. Like I don't watch TV, I don't do social media. So I think, but no, to answer that question, see, I just get rambling. No, I don't. I just do it on YouTube.
There you go. So Terry, that might be the best answer for you, is to make your own little file on your phone. And Leslie says, you're a wise woman, Janet. And Les says, I like YouTube the best anyways.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
Becky says that YouTube is her favorite too. Bonnie said she came in 15 minutes late. Wow, this is a great concept. The go happy horizontal. I need to watch the beginning. There will be a replay available. I'll try to get it up as quickly as I can after this, and it's going to be available on the Scrap Happy page at the Scrap Smarter page. So, oh, were you trying to share something here, Cynthia? I don't know if she was intending to share, so we'll put this back up. If you want to share, just let me know. It's all good. So there. So yeah, Terry says I've pressed her several times to join Instagram. Yeah, it's so tough because you can't be everywhere and you can't do everything.
No, and then let's just add on the fact that we're women and we have to wear so many hats anyways. Something just has to give if you want to have time for a hobby. I mean, that's the truth of it.
Hold on a second here. I am checking to see. I've never had this happen where, are you seeing me or are you seeing the video?
I have a blank screen.
A blank screen. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can fix that. Cynthia, if you are here, there's a little cancel at the top of your screen. And I'm trying to see if I can find a little cancel button. So, yeah, everyone says they can only see this Cynthia's screen. I haven't had this as a problem before, so let's, oh, maybe in here.
There you are. There you are.
There, sorry.
There's a beautiful face again.
There we go. Yeah, technology, it's a constant learning process. So yeah, and I think that having some go-to designs is an amazing thing to do. And it's funny because I bet that everybody here actually has their own go-to designs already. They just might not think of it like that. But if you flip through your pages, you're like, oh, I do that a lot. And you can look at it like, geez, I keep doing the same thing. Or you can look at it like a go-to design. And I think having that change of, just thinking about it in a different way, using it like a tool rather than like that rut that you get into. And I think that with the variations that you showed in using that one design, like the happy horizontal, but it wasn't just the same, right? When you cut it, when you trim the pages down and leave border around the edge, when you change it so instead of 6x6, you've got two smaller strips, and then you leave like a header and a footer on the page. And I think all of those different pieces, they make it look different, right? So it gives you a lot more options.
A lot of people will say that they're intimidated by sketches, but honestly, sketches are just go-to designs dressed up. That's exactly all they are. And especially if you like a certain designer of sketches, Becky Fleck, I just love her sketches, and a lot of hers, and even with Laura Whitaker and Allison Davis, a lot of them, basically, they all start with that simple, maybe like 8 go-to designs, and they're just dressed up. So when people say they're afraid of sketches, I'm like, it's just a go-to design with some dressing. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. And then once you start to know what go-to designs are, you look at sketches and you just don't even, because that was one question I got a lot from my subscribers, is that how do you pick out a sketch? I don't look at photo size because I'm always looking at the background. And I tell you, I think that came from my mom. She was a seamstress. And when I was little, she made my own clothes. And so we would go into a sewing store, and so she would show me a pattern. Of course, the outfit might be pink or blue or whatever. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. She says, don't look at the color, look at the design. And so that's exactly what every time I look at a sketch, I think of my mom saying, don't look at the color, look at the design. And so that's what a sketch is. It's a go-to design just with some pretty color. That's all a sketch is.
Well, and sometimes sometimes they're just like black and white so that you can kind of envision, but sometimes it can be hard for people to envision their own papers and what that's really going to look like. One thing that I find that the sketch can help you do once you have that go-to design style that you like a happy horizontal or whichever style it is, it can show you great placements for your embellishments and how to kind of layer in some of your embellishments, which I think is definitely something else. So maybe once you're done some go-to design series, you'll be like, how to put embellishments on a page. And you have done different things like that because you've talked about visual triangles and you have those kind of videos already. But yeah,
Do you
I
remember
think
the day for us longtime scrapbookers when Becky Higgins came out with that first sketchbook? Does anybody remember that? And
I
we
can
were
pull
all
it out.
enamored.
I still have
You
it.
still have it? You still
Absolutely.
have it?
Absolutely.
That is awesome. I mean, we were all enamored, and we were it was like our Bible for a while. We were just so enamored. And then I know for me, that was a turning point when I realized I did not have to sit there and create in my brain what I wanted my page to look like. Someone else likes to do that, so let them do that. And so I think for me, and that's what I said in the video, scrapping smarter is definitely scrapping faster, and because I want to get more done. And so not sitting there. And someone, I think it was Terry, had asked, how did I know when I had a go-to design? I think it's when you're just tired and you want to scrap, but you don't want to think. It's what do you, like you said, what do you just keep doing over and over? That's your go-to design. And everybody will have something different. And I know a lot of people like the grid or the band or the banner. But yes. Oh, Jody says she still has Becky sketches too.
Yeah, apparently I'm not the only hoarder in the group. You guys are making me feel good. Vicky said the same.
Tina has them too. Yeah.
And Tina has them. Les says, would you say that go-to designs then indicate go-to placements of embellishments too? Would you say that? Because I think yes and no. I think that sometimes you tend to do the same things with that same style, but sometimes like you can totally just really play with it and it doesn't necessarily tell us what you think, I guess. You're here to teach.
I agree with that. Yeah, hey, I'll talk. Hey, just ask me a question, I'll talk. But yeah, I agree with you, Alice, because you can definitely do the same thing over and over again when you want to do something you don't want to think. And then when you want to break out a new tool or new supply, that's when you take your go-to and then you mix it up, have a little bit of fun with it. And then I'll show this in the class where you're going to take go-to designs and then you start mixing them. So you'll do a horizontal, but you add in a diagonal. And so then I think that's what happens is you get to the basics of the go-to design as far as the background, and then your embellishments. That's when you take on another whole go-to design when you do your visual triangle and your clusters. So yeah, it's basically two go-to designs married together. So yeah, definitely. So I agree with you. It can be both.
Marcia says, I like sketches at times, but I really like putting together the puzzle pieces on my own. I literally did a puzzle today. I'm so excited. That being said, I definitely do have go-to designs that I use. And Karen says, I use sketches all the time. I think it's nice to have one element of this kind of taken away. You find an appropriate sketch or you have an appropriate go-to design. And then from there, then you get to do the creative stuff and you get to put that together. And if you're the kind of person that's like, I don't want to commit, you have the freedom to not use those as well, right? It's kind of, it depends on what level of creativity and thinking you want to put into it. If you just want to sit down and create a page and get it done and say, I just want something that's going to be nice. Like, I just want to make something that's going to be nice, reliable, look good when I'm done, then this is like the perfect thing to put in your toolbox. Vicky,
yes,
Janet,
because there are just some days where
your dreams.
Yes, I agree with you, Alice, because there's just some days you want to sit and you just want to play. And then there's some days you want to sit and create. And then there's just some days you want to get a page done. And so then that's when sketches come into play. And I say this a lot, especially with my organizing videos. To me, that is key because I don't want to spend time gathering the supplies. I want to spend time playing with the supplies. And so that's why I say organizing your space. And sketches is one of those things, just like you said, that is a tool. It is, that is one of those things that can help you get faster pages. There are people out there that just love to make sketches, so let them do it. I'll use it and just run with it. Yeah, absolutely.
You've seen that during my Scrapbook Live events, I use a kit, like one of the custom curated kits from the Wild Hair Kits. And the one thing I love about that is that she's taken products from different product lines and I can put those pieces together. They all work because she's done the thinking. I still get that feeling that, you know, I'm mixing and matching, and it's like, ooh, look at me being a rebel. I put, you know, this company's paper with that company's embellishments, and doesn't that look great? But I, and you know, I didn't have to do all the heavy lifting with that, and that's one of the reason I really like doing kits. And another way is putting my own kits together. So I've done that. And if anybody needs tips for that, there is the Counterfeit Kit Club. So you can just look up Counterfeit Kit Club, and it's just people online that it's not, you don't subscribe to anything. It's just a blog. They tell you some great ideas on putting together a kit. They do an inspiration kit every month, and then you put together your kit and make some pages with it. It's really fun. Les says, Janet, you totally changed the way I look at sketches. Thank you. And Tina says she thinks about scrapbooking as she falls asleep at night. That's awesome.
Yeah. There isn't a day that goes by that I'm not doing something scrapbooking related, because for me, scrapbooking is just, it's a huge part. Actually, it is my life. It's a huge part of my life. I mean, when you have a whole space dedicated to your hobby, chances are it's a big part of your life. So whether we're taking photos or talking to family about stories or working on a page or organizing, every single day I'm doing something. Even if I'm just writing down some ideas, I'm definitely, it is my life. That scrapbooking is my life. It's just not a hobby for me. It's truly, and then I think when you can get your family on board, and I said this to my subscribers not so long ago, I said, when you can make a grown man cry because of a scrapbook page, you know you've done something right. And so it's not just my hobby, it's everybody. I get everybody involved. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I said earlier that my sons were texting me on their first day, well, on the second day with the one, but they're sending me their school photos because they're off and doing their own thing now, but they know how important it is to me. And, you know, I have to say, like, I usually sit down with my boys on their birthday and look through albums from, you know, especially their specific albums and their baby albums and stuff like that. And, you know, I made them a long time ago. They're not maybe the most current styles, let's just say. They're maybe not the most current styles, but I look back at those pages and the heart and intention and the stories that I did include. I wasn't as good at getting the journaling in there like I am now, but getting that all put together, you know, it's so important to how my pages turned out. And, you know, it tells the story of our life. And I think that, you know, when my kids read those, they know kind of where they came from, and, you know, they get to see those stories about themselves. To me, that's really important. And that's part of why I'm scrapbooking. So I think that, yeah, it's just the bestest hobby in the world. It doesn't seem to give it enough weight to call it a hobby, right? Like, it just doesn't feel like it's enough weight. It's like, no, it's more important. A hobby would be like crocheting or, you know.
Right. Yeah,
But
I know. I have a tagline in my life, and I always say, my life is not perfect, but when I look through my albums, my life feels perfect. And I'm not saying that I only scrapped all the good things, but I do scrap a lot of good. I already remember the bad. I don't need to document it, but the good, when you can look back and you have shelves and shelves and layouts, you know, it's like what Oprah said one day, many, many years ago, when you focus on the good, you don't realize what you don't have when you know, and that's truly, and I think that's what our albums are. It is a true representation of what we have. And it's a visual living memory. That's what it is. So I get very passionate about it. I mean, what else are you gonna, and you know, there are times when I sit and I think, you know, because I've been scrapbooking 23 years, and I think, why am I doing this? Why do I have an entire room for this? And sometimes I think, should I even keep up with it? And then I'll look through an album, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's why I do it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. And then when people get excited, and then when my brother says, oh, man, did you do a layout today? Or, you know, my daughter says, show me what you did. So yeah, but there are times when I think, why am I doing this? I maybe should do another hobby. And so I asked my daughter that one time. She said, no, what would you do? What would you do? I mean, I don't know. What would I do? Read or crochet? I mean, I do that anyways, but I don't know what I would do. I don't know. Maybe exercise more. I don't know.
Leslie, I think you're right. My boys are looking forward to seeing the next phase of their life on the
Yeah.
pages. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's all good. And Vicky says it's our legacy. I would love to know my grandma's life through
Oh,
scrapbooks or
yeah.
my mom's. We're leaving it for future generations. And I know, like, it's really tough because I never am 100% sure if my kids are going to want all of my scrapbooks, right? I've, become over 20, almost 20 years. Like, I have a fair bit of stuff. I will tell you, even in unalbumed layouts, I probably have 3 stacks under this stall sitting here right now. Oh, that's just the ones on the counters. Actually, there's some underneath the counter too. Like, I have a lot of layouts, and maybe they don't need all of those stories, but for me, I have to say I'm scrapbooking for myself, and
Mm,
hopefully they will find value in that, and maybe they will have kids and their kids will have that chance to know their grandma. I can't even
yeah.
I have a hard time even saying that. That's so weird. But their kid could have that chance to really know me. And it's I so wish the same, Vicky. I so wish I could have known my grandma's life. And
Yeah.
my mom, she does photography, but she's like, scrapbooking, no, I don't do that. It's hilarious because the reason that she loves the photos is so connected to what they represent, and yet scrapbooking, no. Terry
Yeah.
says, yeah, to record the story.
Yeah.
Les says we
I
make
agree.
pages we love, and
I
our
agree.
kids get a chance to
Yeah.
then choose what they want to keep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
uh Oh, Christy, my mom puts them into photo albums, and she has some great photo albums. I actually borrowed one. It's actually under my computer. Otherwise, I'd just hold it up. It's a big, fat photo album from my childhood, and I'm going to scan some of those photos so that I have new pictures to play with. There's a lot. I'm lucky because my mom liked photos. There's a ton of photos from my childhood, so I can usually find a
I
photo that
laugh
goes
when
with any
people
story.
I laugh when people say, "Oh, they take photos, but they don't do scrapbooking," and I'm like, "That is scrapbooking. Photos is a sense of scrapbooking. It really is." But I know we'll be talking about that coming up on the channel about the guilt of scrapbooking and the things that we as women go through and the and the phases, and then also too, I do have a video coming up that talks about scrapbooking through tragedy and difficult times, because that is something that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but it's something that needs to be addressed. But when people say, I don't, like you were saying about your children, um, that is something I've talked to with my daughter about, and I think I'm over 60 albums already. And so I told her, I know it's not possible for you to keep them all, and I don't expect you to. So she's off the hook. But then at the same time, like you said, Alice, I scrap for me, because there will be one day I can't scrapbook. I mean, let's just be honest. So someone can read to me my life, what I wrote. And so that is why I say, even if you just get a little bit of details, that's something someone can read to you. And so we were talking about that when we were talking about hand journaling versus computer journaling on our pages. And I said, it doesn't matter as long as it's on there. I just want someone to read it to me, because there will be a day we won't scrapbook. That is inevitable. And so if someone can read to me, oh, that'll be entertainment, I guess, in my 80s. So
Brenda
so it's
says
important.
that her kids and grandkids have already claimed the albums that they want. And it's so satisfying to know that they appreciate them as I do. That's what she's, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love it. It's like, I want this one. And honestly, now, like with digital, and I kind of wish I did digital scrapbooking, but I'm unwilling to put the investment of time into learning some of the stuff that I would need to do. And I think doing other things on the computer, I don't want to spend more time on the computer. I love the tactile, like artistic side of scrapbooking. I love like playing with mucky things and getting messy. I love that. But
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to be able to record those and share those, and I think that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Terry says, I love when I'm making a layout that is so full of life and so full of love that I'm holding back on tears. Oh my gosh, that's
Mm.
great.
I have layouts that actually have tears on them. So yeah, I get that. I totally get that. And Vicky brought up a good point there too. I did not know this until last year that children are not being taught cursive. I didn't know that. And so that was something that was brought up when we were talking about computer journaling versus handwritten, because you want to get your handwritten writing on pages, but then what do you do when people can't read it? I mean, that is something to consider. It truly is. I mean,
I
you
thought about
you would
it.
never think that. Yeah, you would
And,
never think that.
I've just decided that, my handwriting is going to be my own secret code. If my kids care enough, they're going to have to learn how to read it. Because they're the same. Like my kids are, they're 18 and 19 years old right now, and they never learned cursive. Like I did make a very good effort to teach them when they were younger. But yeah, they didn't come out of it writing in cursive, but I think they can decipher it. So, but yeah, it is. It is. They're like, why do you write like that? How are we supposed to read it? So Janet, your video series, you said it starts on November 12th, is it? Was it the 12th? Something like, okay. And you're going to be sharing more go-to designs.
Yes, we're going to be talking about 5 or 6 different designs. I don't know if I'm going to stop there. It just seems like, but I think that's probably what it's going to be, 5 or 6. And then within each video of those 5 or 6, there will probably be 8 to 10 variations of that one go-to design. And then the day after, we're going to do a start to finish with that previous day's go-to design. And so, yeah, it's taken on a life of its own. I need to stop playing with load and get cracking with this go-to design. But I just did another load page today. Sue did an awesome job with these prompts. Yeah.
Oh
I'll show a sneak peek
amazing.
at the end if you want to see.
So to wrap things up, I would highly encourage anyone that hasn't seen your YouTube channel to pop over to YouTube, RTS Scrapbooking. And that's ready to scrap, right? That's what that all stands for.
It stands for record the story.
Oh, record. Okay, so I totally made that up in my own head. That's hilarious because I totally have that.
No, you have it. There is a playlist on Record the Story for Ready to Scrap, and that's when we make kits. So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay,
right.
So I might have seen it and like put that in there. It's like locked down. Oh, that I have to read this comment by Christy. She said, some people's handwriting is really a secret code. And she said, my grandson once said he couldn't read a foreign language as he looked at my mom's handwriting. Oh my gosh. So Jody is asking, is this going to be a class, meaning you have to enroll, or is it a YouTube series?
No, everything I do is a YouTube series. And I know I've been getting a lot of questions lately about Patreon and online classes and all that. And no, everything I will do will always be on YouTube, and it will always be free. That's just, I've been scrapbooking 23 years, so I've already went through all of that. I've already went through classes and crops and paid for this and, do this. And so everything will just always be YouTube. I just won't ever go off that format unless YouTube changes something. So no, you don't have to enroll. Everything's always there at YouTube at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when I post everything.
She says, great, thanks. And so if I did see a question earlier and it was asking about load and when the next load is. So we are actually wrapping up. The Scrap Happy membership does a members only load in October, and we are just wrapping that up right now. This theme was Broadway rhythm. So we've been scrapbooking inspired by different Broadway musicals. Amazing, absolutely amazing. This one is by the members for the members. And so our own Sue Carey had made our event for us this month. Our next load is February 1st. We start February 1st. I can't reveal the theme yet, but it's going to be revealed in November. Very exciting. Les is asking if I can explain more how it all works with load and membership. Absolutely. So our February and the May loads that we do are open to people that are not Scrap Happy members. You pay the fee. It's usually $50 to join. Sometimes we have some discounts and stuff like that we put out there. So to keep your eye open for that. And You pay the fee and you can come and join us for the load challenge. Every day there is a private link that you have so that you can access the daily prompt. You kind of get a little bit of something about the theme, and then you get to go and create your layout. We share them in a private Flickr gallery, and that allows you to see everybody's pages. You can leave comments. There's a discussion area there. Flickr makes it pretty easy now to do all of those things, especially from phone. Finally, they've upgraded and they make it all phone friendly. And as for that, the February one will be coming out eligible to enroll late in November. So that's coming up very soon. I can't believe how soon it is. And the cool thing about Load is, like, you can look at the prompt, and there's actually 2 versions of the prompt every day now. We do a story-based prompt and a technique-based prompt. And so you can choose to use one, you can choose to use the other, you can choose to use both, or you can throw them out the door and go with none and do your own page. So it's very open. The goal is literally to create a layout a day. If you reach the end of the month, there's going to be like a small little finisher's prize. It's more like a little pat on the back, but you'll get something in the mail and that says, hey, congratulations, you did it. And throughout the month, we have different prizes. Out of the people that complete every single day, there's also a grand prize drawing. So there's a lot of good things, little bonuses along the way, and so much support to kind of keep the ball rolling. If you would like to come and be a Scrap Happy member, you get all of the access to the load challenges included in your membership. Plus, we have different events every month. Like, we do the ScrapSmarter sessions now. That is our new addition this fall. We also have a happy hour where we hang out together. Sometimes we have a guest person to talk to. We also have our movie nights, very similar to this format, where we watch some scrappy YouTube videos and then we talk about them. Usually we don't get the benefit of having the person. That's why the ScrapSmarter, it's designed more for the education, whereas sometimes when you're watching YouTube videos, you're kind of trying to pull the educational parts out of that. And yeah, we have a lot of different activities going on. So that is some of what is happening in the Scrap Happy group, and we are at scraphappy.org if you'd like to check that out. So, and we have a money back guarantee if you join the group and it's like, well, this isn't working for me. We also have a private Facebook group where we chat and share some information and share some stuff. And our group is very designed to connect the people. Like, we want to make connections and get to know people, and then from there we want to get you doing more scrapbooking. So that's what we do.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Janet. I have to say, absolutely amazing, super great ideas. I can't wait to see your video series on RTS. Having go-to designs, like, and thinking about it like a go-to design, makes it so that when you sit down, it's just that much easier.
Yes.
So yeah, I think, and if are there any more questions? Deetra says, my favorite part of the Scrap Happy group is our yearly reunion. Yes, we do an actual in-person get together. And next summer, we're going to be going to Calgary, and hopefully I will have dates out very, very soon for that. So very exciting. Vicki says, big hugs and thanks, Janet and Alice. This was fantastic. So thank you so much. Hopefully you'll connect with Janet on YouTube, or me through Scrap Happy, or you can find me on Instagram at Alice Bowl. Awesome. Talk to y'all later. Thank you so much.
Night.
Okay, let's go scrap smarter, right? That's our goal. Let's go scrap smarter. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.